Hello, I'm Nick Wilmshurst, and this is the Ginger Wizard Productions Podcasting Masterclass, Episode 2. So let's talk about ideas. I touched on this in Episode 1. Sitting down and planning your podcast is super important. Think about what you want to say and how you're going to say it and who you're saying it to. So let's assume you know exactly the subject matter you're going for. You now need to think about what aspects you're going to look at in each episode. And if you're going for guests, the best person to hear from. You can also do a little bit of market research first to see what people would like to know about your chosen topic. Once you're up and running, don't forget to ask your audience what they're curious about too. Just back to guests quickly here. It can be a very time-consuming and disparaging process booking people for your show. Until you've got a world beater with huge figures, you might need to use a bit of your persuasive powers to get the right people on. But in this case, why not try for people with a big social media following? They'll share your show to their followers and in turn boost your numbers. It's worth spending the time on finding these guests, so do it. I've spent hours, maybe even weeks in total in my career asking people to appear on shows. How you come across when you're asking for their time is a bit of a dark art, but again, we can help you with this and the kind of things you might want to ask your guests. Email me, nick@gingerwizard.co.uk. Here's a golden tip. In broadcasting, we use running orders. They give you a clear idea of what you do and when you do it. When you're starting out, I'd say it's so important to have this in front of you when you're actually recording your podcast and when you're planning. It keeps things clear in your mind and lets you order any scripts you've written. That way, you can craft the flow much more easily. So when you're actually sitting down to think about your podcast, it's actually quite important to let your mind wander and... Oh, hang on, it's the dog. What's up, boy? What's up? Yeah. Okay. He wants to go for a walk. Come on, let's go for a walk. I'd just like to point out that what you're hearing is not sound effects. It is genuinely that muddy. I've brought my little dog to the banks of the River Aire in North Leeds. You can probably hear that in the background. And the river's really high today, so that's why it sounds so angry and a little bit like white noise. But I've taken this opportunity to show you don't really need to stay in front of that really expensive studio mic you bought. You can maybe use your phone a little bit to get out and about and go and speak to people. Oh, there's a train there. It's known as getting some fresh air into your audio and can take your audience wherever you are. Take them out of their daily lives a little bit. Take them for a little walk maybe. It's a good way actually of while you're walking and you want to record an episode, something a bit different and actually gets you out of your mind space and maybe gets your listener out of theirs too. So it's a cold day here as I'm walking down this lane by the River Aire, and it's rained quite a lot, so that's why it's so muddy. And I suppose it gives me a little bit of an opportunity to talk about the podcasts that I listen to. I'm not sure whether you'll be bothered, but I'm a big fan of kind of stuff like Sean Keaveney's Daily Grind. That's a great one. And also Uncanny. If you've not heard of that, if you've not listened to it, check it out. If you like tales of the bizarre, unexpected, maybe a bit supernatural, it's well worth a listen. But there are things you do need to think about if you come out and about. It does add a slightly more tricky extra layer of complexity to your recordings. For example, background noises, when you're trying to edit things all together, can jar a little bit, so it's worth thinking about. Anyway, I think it might be time to get back to the studio. I am freezing. Come on, dog. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Good boy. I'll not lie. It's nice to get back in the warm with a nice cup of tea. I recorded that when it was really cold in the winter. But I sat down and planned all of that last section out. I hope it didn't sound too scripted. But the point here is that you can let your imagination run away with you. And at Ginger Wizard Productions, we can turn those crazy ideas into reality. Just remember, when it comes to making podcasts, there aren't really any rules at all. If you want to keep it simple, just you and a decent microphone, more about that in the next episode, and all the things you want to talk about, do it. But you could be as creative as you like. I mean, here we are at the beach. It's quite nice, isn't it? Sun's out. People having a good time. Maybe getting a bit too sunburnt. Or we could be here in this really boring supermarket. My point is that we can use sound to take your audience wherever you want to take them. There are absolutely no limits. Now, when it comes to planning, it can be tempting to turn to AI for help. But to be quite honest, I'd discourage this, as when you write your script, you're writing it in your own voice, and that really comes across over the mic. Sure, maybe do some research with AI, but really don't use it to write your podcast. But don't just take my word for it. Here's ChatGPT explaining why it's a bad idea.
In the ever-evolving landscape of content creation, the allure of using artificial intelligence to script podcasts may seem tempting, promising efficiency and precision. However, it's crucial to recognize that the heart and soul of a podcast often lie in the genuine, human connection formed through authentic storytelling. AI, while powerful, lacks the nuanced understanding, emotional depth, and cultural context that a human touch brings to the narrative. A script crafted by a human not only reflects individual perspectives and experiences, but also adapts to the subtle nuances of conversation, creating a more relatable and engaging listening experience. Furthermore, relying solely on AI for podcast scripting runs the risk of losing the essence of spontaneity and creativity that defines this medium. Podcasts thrive on the unscripted moments, the unexpected laughter, and the genuine reactions that arise during a conversation. By embracing the organic nature of human communication in scriptwriting, podcasters can preserve the authenticity that sets their content apart in a sea of digital noise. In the end, the human touch in scripting ensures that the unique voice of the creator resonates with the audience, fostering a connection that transcends the limitations of artificial intelligence.
I genuinely asked ChatGPT why it was a bad idea to allow it to write scripts for podcasts, and that was honestly its answer. To be honest, it wasn't so bad, but it kind of lacks that human touch. Do you know what I mean? Now, before I go, reading scripts out loud is not an easy thing. You've not heard the takes that are on the cutting room floor here, but I can also offer media training and help you sound amazing. If you need help with that or getting the most out of your audio, get in touch. nick@gingerwizard.co.uk. Next time, we're looking at this thing. The importance of microphones.